Back again with film recaps. In this video, I'm going to recap one of a drama thriller films from 2021, titled The Innocents. Before we get to the storyline, I'd like to wish everyone a happy and great day. Without further ado, let's get straight to the storyline. The movie takes place in the summer, and starts with a little girl named Ida. Ida sits beside her autistic and nonverbal sister, Anna, while the family is moving to their new house. Annoyed by her abnormal sister, Ida pinches her heart, but Anna doesn't seem to feel the pain. When the family arrives at their new home, the parents begin to move in their luggage, while Anna starts playing with light bulb buttons. Ida, standing outside on the balcony, watches the outside world, and spits down on plants. She then goes to check out the lake in front of the apartment. Being the spoiled child she is, Ida instantly smashes a worm twice on the bank of a small lake. As she looks up, she sees a boy her age staring at her on the other side of the lake. The following day, Ida, who has no friend, lies on the tire swing and thinks about what to do. She makes an imaginary telescope out of his hand, and points it to the people's residence, imagining herself killing them. As she walks around neighborhood, she meets the boy from yesterday called Ben, who talks to her and takes her to show something good. He takes her to the forest, and tries to show a magic trick with a small stone. He tells Ida to drop the stone in front of him. However, the stone was heavy for his magic, so he takes a bottle cap as his magic item.
No. No.
Ben shows Ida that he has telekinesis powers, though he's only able to move really light things for now. Impressed, she tries to see if she has telekinesis too, but nothing happens. Regardless, the two warm up to each other, and laugh while destroying an anthill. After Ida goes home that day, she tries telling her parents about her new friend's telekinesis powers, but of course they don't take her seriously. On the next day, Ida gets dressed and goes out more energetically, but finds no one outside to play. When she returns home, she becomes jealous to see her mother treating Anna. She finds broken glass shards, and puts them inside her sister's shoe because she suspects that Anna isn't able to feel pain. When Anna puts her shoes on, she appears uncomfortable but is unable to speak. We then get introduced to another little girl, Aisha, who lives alone with her mother and her cat, in another apartment building nearby. The little girl then hears someone is crying in the kitchen, so she goes to see what's going on. Watching her mother crying, Aisha becomes emotional, and decides to go outside. But when she wears her shoes, she feels pain and removes her foot instantly. When Aisha checks her foot, she finds it soaked in blood, before disappearing, which for some reason marks the pain being felt by Anna at the moment. At the same time, Ida's parents take Anna to a specialist doctor, where Anna still looks uncomfortable, and Ida stares at her like a spoiled child. Suddenly, Anna gets more irritated and begins to smash her feet to the ground. The doctor thinks she wants to go around, and takes Anna to her house. When her mother takes off her shoes, she finally finds Anna's foot covered with blood and glass inside the shoe. Outside, Aisha sneaks inside another building to look for her cat. While climbing the stairs, she hears a strange noise, but when she looks around, she sees no one. As she's about to head back down, the door nearby moves. Behind the door is Anna playing with the knob. Aisha grabs the doorknob from the other side, while Anna holds onto it. They pause, sensing each other's presence, before letting go at the same time, giving us a clue that Anna is somehow connected to Aisha. On the next day, Ida babysits Anna, and shows Ben that Anna is weird, because she barely registers anything going on around her and allegedly has poor sensitivity to pain. Ben also finds this fascinating, and pinches her really hard. The two then leave Anna to play ball at a nearby court, but Ida and Ben soon get kicked out by a bully. At the same time, Aisha finds Anna and introduces herself. Later on, Ben is now sporting a bruise from the bully. He then shows Ida that he's found a cat, who is none other than Aisha's cat. Bored, the spoiled kid Ben comes up with an idea. He and Ida take the cat inside an apartment, several stories high, and drops it to the ground, breaking the cat's leg. The poor cat limps into a storage space, while the two kids look for it. Once Ben finds the cat again, he mercilessly goes and crushes its head with his foot. This puts Ida off, so she calls it a day and leaves. Back at the playground, she finds her sister Anna playing with Aisha. When Ida insists on taking her sister home, Anna gets agitated. And so, Aisha offers to join them to calm her, and asks Ida to bring Anna with her tomorrow. On the next day, Aisha hangs out with Anna, while Ida revisits the storage space to observe the cat's dead body. Once she returns to the playground, she finds Ben sitting with Anna and Aisha. Here Anna spins a frisbee, and after a while it keeps spinning, impressing the three kids because it turns out Anna also has telekinesis powers. This discovery is new to Anna, and she spends the day practicing her telekinesis by spinning pan lids. On the next day, Ben reveals how his telekinesis powers have improved, as he is now able to move a handful of stone. It is on this day that Aisha also reveals that she can hear people's thoughts, especially Anna's, and Anna could also hear hers. Aisha also could a little bit feel the thoughts of Ben and vice versa, but she isn't able to read Ida's mind. They begin to test their theory by telepathically communicating with one another in order to assess each other's skills. It is revealed that Ben cannot read Anna's mind directly, but he can read Aisha's thoughts to read Anna's mind. However, Ida is the only one who is lacking in all of the abilities. After some time of playing, the group returns to their homes. Later that day, when Anna is scribbling on her drawing pad back home, Ida whispers the word shark, causing Aisha to instantly hear it too, and uses her powers to show Anna how to draw a shark. Fascinatingly, we could see that Ben is developing empath powers as well, as at the same time, he drew a shark too. On next day, the group goes into the forest to test the range of their communication skills. Blonde girl jokingly whispers to Anna that Ben is a piece of shit, making Aisha laugh hysterically when she hears this. However, Ben is offended and gets violent. He shoves Aisha with his powers. He then throws a rock at Ida's direction, who dodges it barely. Ben tries to harm Aisha, but Anna encounters him. The two use their powers and try to defeat each other, and their mental battle begins. However, they build so much pressure in their surroundings that it breaks a nearby tree into pieces. They then discover that Anna gets injured by a splinter on her left leg. This seems to de-escalate the situation. Ben appears fascinated by Anna's wound, so he starts poking the splinter deeper into Anna's leg, and she barely reacts as always. Aisha, who has psychic connection with Anna, could feel the pain, and tells him off. After Ben leaves, Aisha explains to Ida that though Anna doesn't physically react to pain, she feels it still, making Ida realize that she's been wrong this entire time. On their walk back home, Aisha realizes that Anna wants to try speaking, so she encourages her to.
Hi. Hi.
Miraculously, Anna utters her first words. When the parents get home, Ida excitedly tells her mom that Anna can speak now, but the mom doesn't believe her and gets mad at her for making up such an insensitive lie. To prove her point, Ida tries to get Anna to speak, but she doesn't say anything. That day, Anna is practicing her telekinesis with the pan lid again, while the bored Ben is now able to control things more efficiently, as he tries moving a hot pot with his mind, injuring his mom. She then yells at Ben for laughing at her, so the boy drops a pan on her head, making her bleed. As this happens, Aisha witnesses her own mom bleeding from the forehead. However, she immediately realizes it's not her mother who's bleeding, but someone else in the apartment complex. Little did she know, Ben's mom is now knocked out cold on the floor, but the little shit isn't done. He pours boiling water on her legs with his telekinetic powers. Afterwards, he walks up to her, and has the audacity to start crying when he sees the blisters on her legs. At the same time, Aisha starts crying too. A few hours later, the mother wakes and begs for him to call the emergency, but Ben doesn't and lets her wail in agony until she dies. The next morning, we see how Anna's telekinesis has improved, as she easily swerves water on the sink. That day, The mom is working near the playground when she overhears Anna speaking, causing her to cry in joy. She takes Anna home and shows it to the dad, while unbeknownst to them, Aisha is helping Anna the entire time by telling her what words to say. The parents embrace Anna, while Aisha longingly stares at a picture of her late father. That day, we see Ben alone in his apartment as his mom is now dead, but he still hasn't moved her body. After this first kill, he now thirsts for more. When he goes out to play, he sees the boy who bullied him in the football court a few days ago, and returns to his house. Ben then uses his newfound empath powers to manipulate the mind of a man who lives downstairs. The man suddenly pauses as if in a trance, then heads out the door. The boy sends the man to kill the bully on his way home. When Ida goes out to play the following day, she watches the victim's blood on the bridge, and Ben standing on the top hill to the forest. Ben comes up to Ida to grimly admit that he has the ability to control people, so she innocently asks him to prove it. Reluctantly, he starts controlling her body. She begins climbing up to the abandoned fridge nearby. Not only that, he tries showing how much his telekinesis has improved, by breaking the stick she's holding with his mind. Up next, he takes her near the ballpark to come watch him prank the kids playing there. As Ben starts concentrating hard, Anna and Aisha start to sense that something isn't right. But before the two could stop him, Ben goes on and breaks one of the kids' legs from far away. Not long after, Aisha shows up and confronts him, but he has none of it and throws a rock at her. He even starts choking her, so Ida shoves him to break his concentration and get him to stop. Before Ben could harm Ida, Anna suddenly arrives there, forcing Ben to leave the place. This is when he comes to realize that everybody is no longer on his side, so he begins to cry inside his apartment. Aisha quietly follows him, and reads his mind from outside the building. She then telepathically reports what she learned to Anna and Ida. Apparently, Ben is now planning to harm them, and he's planning to do so through others. Aisha wants Anna's help to take him down, but advises Ida to stay out of this because she doesn't have any powers. However, when Anna is about to leave, the mom stops her and forbids her from going out so late. Later that night, Aisha is worried that Ben will try to harm them and goes to sleep early, while her mother is still awake. On the other hand, Ben manipulates Aisha's mother's mind that her house has become haunted with no lights. She holds the knife to protect herself, but when she sees Aisha, she has mistaken her of a haunted doll and stabs her in the back. But when she regains her consciousness, she becomes shocked to see Aisha's bloody body and dying in front of her. The telepathic connection makes Anna hyper aware of what's happened to Aisha, and rushes to her aid, but her parents stop her, thinking that she's just throwing a senseless tantrum. Meanwhile, Aisha's mother cradles her daughter in confusion and despair as she bleeds to death. She tries calling the emergency services, but they aren't able to get there in time. Aisha's death wounds Anna deeply, and she's unable to speak and act like before, but her sister is there to comfort her. That next day, the two sisters and their father are walking back to their apartment, while unbeknownst to them, a man under Ben's mind manipulation is following them. Luckily, they manage to step inside the apartment building, just before the man gets to them. Ida is anxious that Ben would try to hurt them as well, and keep asking Anna to do something about it. However, when she notices that Anna cannot do anything about it, she hugs Anna and apologizes to her. With no other option, Ida makes the snap decision and leaves the home after hugging her mother. She then goes out and meets with Ben while having a plan in her hand. Ben opens the door, and asks if Anna is nearby. Ida tells him Anna is at home, and they should play with her new plane. The little girl then lowers Ben to the bridge where he killed the boy before. She gives the plane to Ben, telling him to fly it, while sitting on the upper edge of the bridge. When Ben is about to fly the plane, Ida suddenly pushes him off the bridge. However, Ben does not fall on the road but on the ground, and somehow he survives the fall. Scared, she runs off into the woods, and arms herself with a glass shard. But when she touches the root next to her, it turns into a snake, which we realize is part of Ben's mental manipulation because she gets transported to another realm immediately. Ben controls her mind and convinces her to go on a busy road, while she is still trapped in her nightmare environment. She now sees shadowy figures coming after her, so she grips the glass even tighter, drawing blood. Fortunately, the pain snaps her back to reality, just in time as a car speeds in her direction. Ida wakes up in a hospital, having suffered from a concussion and a leg injury. She gets home a few days later, and tries to communicate with Anna and pleads for her protection, but Anna doesn't respond. To make it even scarier, she finds Ben staring right at her window. But unbeknownst to Ida, Anna is actually well aware of what's going on. She heads out and gets into a staring contest with Ben. This time, he manages to knock her to her knees. Back in the apartment, Ida realizes her sister is missing and gets worried. She heads out and attempts to climb down the stairs, but it's hard to do with her cast. Frustrated, she screams, and unexpectedly, the cast breaks, signifying that she also has telekinetic abilities after all. Meanwhile, Anna rises again, and now attempts to use her powers against Ben. The sand moves around her feet and the water ruffles. But instead of attacking him directly, what Anna does is to telepathically inform the rest of the kids in the neighborhood about what Ben has done. Babies around the area start crying and some of the kids feel strange as the two gauges each other's powers. And just in time, Ida arrives and holds Anna's hand to reassure her, empowering Anna to concentrate more and more. A few kids in the building look over the playground where Ben is. Ben senses everyone's powers against him, and he falls into the swings. All the children with powers help Anna defeat the boy, until she eventually sends a force powerful enough to get Ben's heartbeat to stop. Afterwards, the sisters and the kids from the building return to their homes. The film ends with Anna casually resuming her scribbling on her drawing board like nothing's happened. When their mom returns home not long after, she informs them that she saw an ambulance just outside, presumably picking up Ben's dead body.